Heya Duck. So we're back doing a nail that I've never done before.
And I've been asking you for...
About 5 years.
Many moons.
And I was reluctant to do it because I'm just like, oh, it's just a faff. People are not going to wear this nail. But everybody asks me to do it.
All the time. It's a comment section. That's what does me in. Everyone's asking in the comment section. Can you do an aquarium nail?
So we're going to do an aquarium nail. And much to my dismay, I'm going to do it anyway. And hopefully I'll like it. If I don't, it's going straight in the bin. So, we're working on Aleana today because she stays still. She's very nice. We love her. This is the Kirsty Meakin one. Because look, oh, it's only branded, darling. This colour is winter. We sell these in a variety of shades. So, go check out the website because we do lots of Aleana products. We are the UK distributor. I've got the tip in. So, the tips that you get for the thumb are like this. So, long square tips for practice thumb. 50 pieces, size 1. Yeah? Don't get confused because there's many different packs of tips. So, I thought I'd just go through that.
You really showed off your reading skills there. It was great. The way that you really enunciated every word.
Well, I'm not very good at reading. Comes like this, yeah? So,
that's long.
It's very long. And I trash mine quite a lot. So, it looks like it's one of those tips, but it's not. It's actually all made for the Aleana thumbs, as are the ones for the fingers. So, you probably look at this and think that needs to go in that way. No. The more tapered end fits in to that crevice.
Oh, it's like a duck nail.
But when it goes in, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's a perfect nail bed.
Nail.
Yeah. So, they've been made especially to fit the Aleana hands. Right, so to do this, I've had to really, use my head. It's not very good these days, you know.
You're better off using a brush, really, but...
Yeah. Anyway,
I saw that.
I have had a little play around with things, and what I did was, I'll show you this. So I was like, yeah, but I want it curved, but I don't want to do, so I see people putting a tip on, and then you get a piece of gel on a sculpting form, you cure it, and then you put that flat on the back, and then you have this. I still want it to look like a nail. I don't want it to look like a massive, humongous tube. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit ugly. So we're going to try and make it look as pretty as we can. Obviously, it's going to be thicker in certain parts.
It's going to have a apex. Definitely.
It's going to have a apex, but it's got to have a certain amount of thickness to allow for the gap to fit the aquarium business in there. So, but we're going to try and make it look still nice, because some of them are just humongous tubes on the end. That's not what we're going to do. So I got one of this is a 1, 2, 3 go tip from Max Estrada's, and because I wanted something that was flatter. Now these are quite flat at the end. Yeah, so because they're flat, we can use this as our base, and I've cut it and I've sort of filed it so I can use it as a tip. Now, because the 1, 2, 3 go tips are a soft gel cover tip, they are thicker than a normal tip. So, can you see that there is a thickness difference?
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a thickness difference. So what I want to do is file this to make it thinner. And all I've done is I've literally got the end and I've cut off about 1/3 of that nail and then filed it into a bit of a C curve, which you can just angle your file like this and start to file it to create that bit of a C curve, just so it doesn't need to be a massive C curve, it's just so it fits a little bit better on the nail. But I still need to cut it, I still need to file it because the thickness is too thick. for me. So I'm just going to take a metal file. Let me get this set up. So I'm going to have a 100 on one side and a 240 on the other side. Just want to put that on a raised surface because it just helps to get the fingers either side of the file. And we're going to do the 240 as well. And then I'm just going to thin down the surface of the that tip. Now, don't get me wrong, if you've got if you've already got normal tips that aren't soft gel tips, if you've already got one of those that is thinner, then you won't need to do this, but I haven't. All the tips that I have are like super C-curved, because I love that. It gives it, a nice structure. So I don't really have lots of flat tips, but these, I went through all the tips and I was like, they are going to work. So I've just gone over with the 100 now. I'm going over with the 240, which is a finer grit. So the higher the number, the finer the grit. 240, just to make the demarcations not as deep as well. And I will also take off less of the tip. Let's give that a bit of a file. We are going to work with this sort of square shape. And this section here that makes contact with the nail, we're going to thin that out as well. So let's stick this on to, oh, we're very stringy today. We're going to put this onto our fake nail. So we're imagining that this nail is somebody's natural nail. So we're going to glue that on. We'll still need to blend here, just like you do with a normal tip. So I'll show you the reason for using a flatter tip in a little bit more detail now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tip over the top. So then we're going to have that chamber. And it's the chamber you want to create. So you can see the chamber. Yeah. And you want to make sure that you don't go too small with your additional tip, because if you go too narrow, can you see you're going to be left with a lot at the side and a very skinny chamber. But if you go too big, it'll fit right to the edge, and that's not what you want. So it's a fine line between getting it right. So if I show you this now, when we put this on, we have a little section each side. So this is slightly smaller, and that will fit there, and that's enough room each side. Does that make sense? So when I want to kind of make this a similar length, so I want to cut that about there. So that's going to be your chamber for your aquarium nail.
It doesn't really need to be that thick, does it?
Well, what we're still going to do is create a bit of a C-curve here.
Okay.
To take off a little bit of height.
Yeah.
File at an angle like there. You're going to get a curve. Okay?
Sorry, you've lost me there. What do you mean you're going to get a curve there? So
it was straight. This tip was straight.
Oh, right, okay.
So we file it at an angle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just because you just said C-curve.
And you get, sorry, a smile line. Sorry, a smile line. You get a smile line, so you get like a curve. And I'm going to thin this out. And I'm also going to thin out this edge. So just the 240 grit. just at that edge. Okay. Because we want to reduce the bulk. So that is the chamber prepared. It's an oxygen chamber, like Michael
actually,
Jackson.
It's literally not going to have oxygen in it. Oh no, it's going to have a little bubble in, isn't it?
Little bit.
Little bubble.
So it's our oil chamber. Right, so if you're going to file on the Aleana hand, it's always best to do it off the Aleana hand because then you're not going to ruin your Aleana finger. So we're blending this in. Okay, so that's blended in. Now for the chamber. This is going to go on here, can you see? Yeah? But before I put that on, I actually want to put a colour underneath this.
Do you have to sort of top load that and smooth it out?
This bit? Wow, I'm going to use a jelly top coat.
Obviously it'll help to make it clear again, won't it?
Yeah. So let's wipe over with clean-up solution. And then we've got these two jelly top coats. So one's blue, it's called Hugo. One's like a greeny blue, teal, that's called, isn't it? Turquoise. Basically called Les. And I'm going to use a bit of both of them, just so it's like very like the sea. Ooh. I went jet skiing in the sea.
Did you?
It was extremely windy. It was the day after with the storm. We did have a storm in Catalonia, only for a couple of hours, and it was dried up like that. But the next day, oh my God, it was windy, and there was lots of waves. And I thought, at least dead calm out there. I don't know what he's on about. What's he on about, like? Says it's dead windy because the kids wanted to go on their own. And he was like, how old are they? And he was like, I'd normally let the 17-year-old go on her own, but it is really choppy out there. He says you can all go on together. And I was like, okay, we'll go on, it's fine, we'll go on together.
All three of you
all three of us on one, on a big one. It's a big one. But oh my God, it was that windy out there, and I was loving it. The girls were screaming their heads off.
Yeah.
The girls were like, don't go so fast, stop going so fast. So I eventually brought them back because they were
when we were in Mexico.
They were a bit scared, and then I went back out again. I was like, try. I loved it.
Could you feel it the next day?
Yeah, on my thighs.
Oh my God, it's wrecks, doesn't it?
Because what I was doing was gripping on.
Yeah. With
my thighs.
When me and Haley went to Mexico in 2006, we went on one, and we came off a couple of times because I was, being stupid on it.
Yeah.
And she panicked and freaked out and wanted to get back to shore.
Does it hurt when you come off them?
Not really.
So I've never come off one.
Mm-hmm. And we, I went back out. I couldn't walk the next day.
Oh, your legs killing you.
I was out there for another 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And I was.
So it's hard work, isn't it? Holding on.
Didn't realise how, but the next day I was walking like that. So I'm just kind of blending these colours so we have a little bit of depth, a little bit of shade difference, but I still want it to be transparent. Just get a little bit more of this Les, and I can probably go straight on with this here and here, and I can kind of blend that out. I mean, he was like, you can't go over to that bit because there's loads of coral. And I went right up to it and you could literally see like not the coral, what's it called? Reef. You could see the reef. You could see all the reef and I was like, yeah. And then I went really quite far out and you could just, the dramatic difference in the colour of the water went from blue to black. And I was like, I'm going to go a little bit further in now. I don't fancy coming off this jet ski here because the sharks, they may come get me.
There's not many sharks in the Mediterranean.
Is there not many in Greece, Duck?
Yeah, it's too warm.
Too warm?
The water's too warm for them, yeah.
Really?
There's still sharks, but they're not big sharks.
I mean, any sharks, really. I don't really. I'm not fussed on size. The little ones still scare the shit out of me.
Really? No, they're not ones that'll eat you.
How do you know? Why? What are they not? Are they like, no, she's not so tasty?
She's just a little snacker.
Yeah.
We'll go for something bigger. When we were in Mexico, they'd had some really big storms, and one of the shark sanctuary things had burst open.
What? No, it's a no from me.
And there was 8 tiger sharks had gone missing and 2 bull sharks.
No. No, I wouldn't be going on the beach. I'm sorry.
Really?
No. What do you mean? No, I fancy my life. I like my life. I don't want to end it.
Yeah, but they can't get on the beach. I found out something this morning. Get this. Sharks have been around longer than trees.
Eh?
Sharks have been around longer than trees.
Where do you find this useless information from?
And I need to fact check it because it might not be right. But it was on the podcast and they were saying, did fact check that they said. But,
okay. They fact checked it on Google.
But sharks, a form of a shark was around before trees. The trees apparently have only been around for 350 to 400 million years.
Just a bit then.
Yeah. But sharks have been around longer.
Wow.
It's all life came from the ocean, anyway. So you would expect there would be more life.
So everything come from the ocean?
Yeah.
No Big Bang, no...
Well, no. So that was Big Bang was definitely way before the oceans.
Okay. So we all come from...
Well, we come from nothing.
We're all a crab.
Well, an amoeba, I suppose.
What? An amoeba?
Single-celled organism. And then duplicate.
Right, this part's important. Make sure this is clean. Because you don't want to start to encapsulate bits of fluff and stuff. So you can see we've got that oceany colour already in the background from the jelly top coat. Now we are going to put on our chamber, a bit of glue, sort of making sure it kind of sits in the nail, but not loads because you don't want to make a mess.
Oh wow. You don't quite notice it until you do that when you're lifting it up there, and there is quite a big space.
Yeah, I just want to move it. I just want to get it sitting a little bit neater. Let me just hold that there. So. Right, so we sat on. Just gonna get this a bit more secured on this side here and here.
Right, okay. So, you'll notice, can you see how we have a very slight, like 2mm at the end? So it's not quite as long, but that's going to give us room for product. So it's not going to spill out everywhere. Right, what I'm going to do now is I want to seal these edges here. I'm not going to seal this edge, but I am going to seal all this. So we're going to do a bit of acrylic work. Right, so we have glass slipper and we have striptease. So I'm going to use striptease, which is a couple pink bars. It has a very slight transparency. And I'm going to seal this edge. And can we just like take notes that I ain't never done this before.
Yeah.
And then we can build up an apex as well. So we still have structure. Maybe one more time. Oh, small bead. God, the dogs are getting wappy outside.
Is it dogs?
Isn't it? Isn't it the little dogs?
No.
My client yesterday didn't dare get out of her car because a Drago. Yeah. I was like, I was on the phone to you one time. I was like, I'm gonna have to go. I was like, why has she not come in? And then she went out and she was like, I didn't dare get out the car. I was like, oh my God, he's so soft. He says, once you're in, it's fine.
Yeah. I wouldn't like to be caught climbing over the fence, put it that way.
No. But if you're invited in. Right, so we're going to put acrylic in with the clear, so this is glass slipper, over this. Quite thin. We're making sure this edge is sealed. Do not worry if you file through to the tip a little bit once you file, because we know we've got quite a bit of room to file and it won't destroy it. Obviously you want to be careful, you don't want to file through to the actual chamber. But we're still trying to keep this as, you know, nail looking. We don't want to have this humongous thick nail looking thing. This is, you know, one of the reasons I'm like, oh, I just don't really want to do this. Like, why do you make me do stuff that I don't like doing, Adam?
Is that just that people like to see you doing things
that I don't like doing?
Well, not that, just that, like, it's just they're intrigued at seeing what your take would be on a certain thing.
Yeah.
And it has taken several years to get you to commit to this.
I know.
So I'm over the moon.
Hopefully everybody will make this video go viral and it'll be worth the painstaking time it takes to create this aquarium nail. So you want to keep your glass slipper acrylic quite wet. You will have less bubbles. You could even do this with Aquagel if you're an Aquagel fan and you like to use Aquagel, you find that a little bit easier to use, then you could definitely use the Aquagel.
So I can see from the side I have a little dip here, so we're going to put a little bit more clear just there. Keeping the brush quite flat and sort of like stretching that product and blending it. What I want to do is check underneath. So I feel like I need a tiny bit more product on this side, possibly this little bit here. So you can see that this has got a little bit more product there now. It looks a bit better. This is a little bit thin on product, which I don't want because I don't want to file through and destroy the seal from the chamber. So by looking underneath, you can see the thickness of product opposed to the tip. Yeah, so you can see product, you see the tip and you can see the product, especially because we've coloured that tip as well.
Very clear.
So you can really see where you need to add product and where you don't need to add product. Okay, so we want that to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to get a clear bead of acrylic onto a sculpting form. Quite thin. You want to make sure it's as wide or slightly wider than your tip, because we're going to use this to cap our edge. You want it nice and thin, so when it starts to set up, you're able to brush backwards and forwards to stretch it super thin, so you can actually cut this with a pair of scissors and it won't shatter because it's so thin. The thinner the product is, the more bend it will have. So I can let that set. We're going to file this now. Don't worry about this edge. We're going to file the structure of the nail, make sure it looks all beautiful. Just going to put the gasket on top of my powder. You could even put the lid on if you want to. That's not right there. That's right. Cover up your liquid because we don't want no dust getting in that. I'm going to take this off to file because I don't want to damage my finger. So you want to get the side walls nice and straight. Right, now we're going to give it a buff. Right, canned air, just to make sure there's no bits in. We literally just used the very last bit of that. Right, now we're going to wipe over with clean-up solution. Oh, we're getting there. So, now we need to put our bits and bobs inside. But we're not just going to do any bits and bobs. We're going to make
A bit too bob.
We're going to make a killer whale. We're going to make an orca. We're going to use a sculpting form. Whew, I am hot. And we're going to draw on the back side. Oh, on the back side? We're going to draw the whale very smallly. Smally?
Smally.
What is wrong with me? Very small. Pushing your pencil. To create the whale shape. I think that's too big. So I'm probably going to make it inside the lines and make it as small as possible. We will need Cassidy detailer brush. I'm going to use the white out gel. And we're going to go on the inside of the shape. So we've taken off the sculpting form and now you can really see it. Yeah? So we're going to go on this side and create the actual shape. You can do it without putting that gel on the other side, but if you struggle to see it, putting that white gel on will just make you see it a little bit more. We can have the inside of the lines. Pop that in the lamp, and we're going to repeat that. All that. Right, we're just going to wipe it with a bit of clean-up solution so it's not sticky. And then peel it off. Now we want to turn it over. Then we're going to repeat on the other side. I'm just gonna do the area where my tweezers were. And do a second coat.
You wiping the sticky layer off?
Yeah, I've managed to get some glitter in it from somewhere, I don't know where. So I'm going to cover that up with a bit of...
It's going to have glitter in anyway, isn't it?
I know, but it's not supposed to be there. That's slightly annoying me, that. Now, we need to do the black. We've got a brand spanker in the gorgeous packaging. Ooh. Sorry, I just thought I'd show that off. This is how you receive your products. Right, so we've got Void. We've got the tiniest killer whale you ever did see. And we're going to paint him
Stop moving away from me. Right, if I hold it here, then that's white, so that can stay white. Okay. This will be very tricky. So they have this like, they have this little white bit up there. Black fin. So we might as well start with that. Easy bit. I'm going to do both sides. Now there's a reason I did it with the white, because you don't want to apply black thick. You don't want it to start, if you start to build it up too thick, you might get wrinkling. Doesn't normally happen, to be honest, but I didn't want to risk that. So they have this little curvy thing going on here. They have a black fin here. I've just reminded myself I've got to do this on the other side. Black, 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 black. And then there's like a white section near their eye. It's like at the back of their eye. So it's kind of like here. This is fun. Let's do it on the other side. I can't guarantee it's going to be exactly the same on both sides, just saying. Before you judge me.
Then again, in nature they wouldn't be symmetrical or anything, would they? They'd be different.
I suppose no one's face is the same. It's not symmetrical, is it? I'm going to hold that in the lamp with my tweezers. In all fairness, it probably won't flip anyway, because there probably won't be enough room, but...
But you want to cover yourself.
What if it did flip, and then it was just white to the side? That wouldn't be a good big cover. So we have the whale. Now we're going to top coat. So we're going to top coat the entire thing. Obviously I've got to have this contact point, so I can't do the part where the tool is when I'm holding it. I can do that after. Ah! No! Come back, whale! put him in. So we've got our whale. I'm happy. He's so cute. He wouldn't kill anybody. He wouldn't kill no trainers. Right, so we've got him. Let's pop him to one side. Let's go back to our bit of acrylic. Pull that on. And what I'm going to do is pencil. I'll probably use the curve of the top. Let's see if we can match a curve. So I can see that's where I'm going to cut it, yeah. Now, bits and bobs are going in. I want a bit of seaweed. So I thought a bit of seaweed, we can use some of the leaves. From like, you know, your dried flowers you can get. So I've got some leaves here. We're going to cut up the leaves. Just want to use that little tiny one there. What?
I saw the top, I saw that. It's in the pineapple.
SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants. Oh my god, why didn't we do that? That would have been dead funny. Under the sea. We've got our bits of seaweed. So you can go in. And then I've got Sparkle Nail Supplies, which is Hollow Unicorn Ultra. Then we've got Iridescent Blue Skies from Lucente and Pegasus Chunky from Lucente. I'm guessing less is more.
Yeah, I don't think you need a ton, do you?
No.
You want it to move around.
Yeah.
If there's too much in, it's not going to, is it?
No. So, yes, I think that's plenty. And then let's put the little whale in. I think I want to take some seaweed out. And take him out and
Why
then
do you put the other way?
facing the other way.
Like you said, he's facing the bait, maybe? Or is he swimming up onto the beach?
That's what I, yes,
Get a-
yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Person.
No, they do swim on the beaches to get seals.
Do they?
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, watch Blue Planet.
Yeah, but it makes me cry. Right, so we've got some oil here. I am going to get a syringe. God, it's not very easy to pick it up. I don't think I'd make a good,
Nurse.
yeah.
think your bedside manner would be a bit abrupt.
Would.
Is that wrong with you? Get up!
Get up, what's up with you?
You're managing.
I'm managing. It's quite bubbly.
God.
Oh no, I'm no good at injecting, I don't think. Oh, it needs less than I thought. Let me...
You need a little air bubble in it, don't you?
Yeah.
So that it can move around.
Well, I feel like it needs more down here, but I can't get it to go there.
What do you mean? If it's liquid, it goes where it goes.
It's quite thick. I think it's a bit thick, this oil, if I'm honest. Look there, it's not going there because the air bubbles too. There, now it's going. There we are. It just needed a bit of aggravating. I'm quite good at that. Right, so we've got a bit of an air bubble there. Or two, or three. She's eating the seaweed. Do you know what I mean? She's having a bit of a munch.
Oh, she's a vegan.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go eat human beings.
I don't think they do anyway.
If you mistreat them. Right, so clean that end. Then, my little piece that I made.
You made peace.
I made
Like world
peace with myself.
Ah.
Which is here. Is gonna go here. Bit of nail glue. All I kind of want this to do is I'm going to put more acrylic here. I want it to stop it going inside.
So it's like a bit of a
Cap.
lump.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah, it's kind of. Let's get rid of excess glue. Right, then clear acrylic. So I'm going to pat, I'm going to push this on top so I know it's kind of sealed the gap. And we'll file. Right, as much as I didn't want to do this, I'm actually quite excited at this point. I like it already. I mean, maybe the whale could have been smaller.
Really?
I mean, I don't know how
Because it's not moving a lot.
Let's have a look.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Because the bubble needs to move up.
Yeah.
I think it needs thinner oil. I think the naff oil is a bit naff for it.
Right.
I think the naff oil's too thick, I do. But it's my first time, come on. Do you know what I mean? I've never done it before.
I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think the oil needs to be thinner. But we'll file this now. This is where I file it and it all explodes out the end. But I would love to know if anybody would wear this nail. You know, is there something that people would wear? It's coming out. Told you I didn't want to do it. You've got to make sure that there's no oil there when this acrylic goes on. Right, so we're just going to file this now, and then I think it already looks like a beach, so I'm just going to top coat it, because quite rightly I've had enough of it, so there you are. But what we do need to do is paint underneath with top coat. Slide that out a little.
It's just handy that you can do that.
It's so handy.
Just like
you can't do
ripping
that.
off somebody's nail a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll put it back. Don't worry.
Yeah, so we're top coating so it's got like the best clarity.
I do love watching top coat go on.
It is so satisfying.
Yeah, just...
And I'm getting the edges as well. So I'll do the underneath first. We can also do this very tip. So the light will flow through. Whack that in the lamp. So we've got the bubbles moving. So if I did this again, I think I would definitely use a different oil that's a lot thinner. So it moves a bit more. Because I think the killer whale is definitely trapped there, eating his...
Kale.
Yeah.
Seaweed.
Eating that seaweed.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously it's quite a big whale there, isn't it? You know.
It is.
I mean, it's a tiny whale. But in there,
it's
huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a difficult.
Yeah, because they move. Bits of glitters kind of move. It's not my favourite thing I've ever done.
I mean, I think it looks really nice.
It looks like a nail, know. I think it looks nice because it looks like a nail. Head on. Yes, you've got a little bit of thickness, but I've seen some done that are just like monstrosities. They're just a monster of a nail.
Yeah.
So I do like that it looks like a nail, and it's, it's got an apex, and it's wearable.
It is wearable.
So I am happy with that. I'm happy with the wearability of it. If I did it again, I'd do a smaller whale or something smaller.
Yeah, that's the hard part, isn't it? It's like what? Because I mean, even it looks big in there, but it is tiny. So
it is.
It's like, how small can you make things?
Yeah. But I like it. I actually really like it now. I'm like, would you do it again? Let's give it another 5 years. But I do like it, and I do like the fact that it still looks like a nail and it doesn't look like a big, thick, massive monstrosity of a thing on the end of a finger, which I think they would normally look like. But would I do it again? Would I wear it? I wouldn't wear it. No. I've enjoyed doing it. I've enjoyed doing the whale more than anything, to be honest. But, yeah. I've done it. Are you happy now, Adam?
Yes. Well, yes.
You want me to do another one, don't you?
I think you should do full set.
No, it's not happening. Don't start in the comments telling me to do a full set of aquarium nails. It's not happening.
Yeah.
But there you are, guys. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram and all that shebang. And I will see you guys in the next video. Ta-ra, duck!